Hey, boys and girls, this book is from Amplify Science. It is called Patterns of Earth and Space by John Erickson. Patterns of Earth and Space by John Erickson. This is the table of contents. The table of contents is a very important feature in a nonfiction text because it tells you what subjects or chapters are going to be mentioned in the book and what pages they start on. Observing patterns. The beads on this bracelet make a pattern. The colors are in the same order over and over again. To see the pattern, you can't just look at one bead. You have to observe many beads. Here is another pattern. In the traffic light, if the traffic light is red, the cars are stopped. If the traffic light is green, the cars are moving. It happens the same way over and over again. Anytime the light is red, the cars are stopped. And anytime the light is green, the cars are moving. That is a pattern. Pattern in time. The traffic light makes a pattern. In time, if you look at the light just once, you will not see the pattern. These pictures show a tree. Do you see a pattern? So the pattern in the light looks like red, green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red, green. So that's a pattern because it's repeating. And the tree in spring has blossoms. In summer has leaves and fruit. In fall, the leaves turn brown and orange and yellow. And in winter, it loses all of its leaves and it's covered in snow. So the pattern is flowers, leaves, fall, winter. So we could actually say spring, summer, fall, winter. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Spring, summer. So the pattern is repeating. Patterns of Earth's movement. These pictures show Earth from far away. The pictures were taken every 2 hours. Each picture shows Earth 2 hours later than the one before it. The white swirls are clouds. The blue is water. The brown shapes are land. Look closely at the brown land. What do you notice? So it's here, and it looks like it's moved to the center. Now it's off to the side a little bit. Now it looks like it might possibly be down here. It's gone. So it's definitely moving. Patterns of daytime and nighttime. There are patterns to when we see things in the sky. In the daytime, we see the sun. In the nighttime, we see the stars. In the daytime, the sky is bright. It is bright in the daytime because of light from the sun. In the nighttime, when there is no light from the sun, the sky is dark and we can see the stars. So it's daytime and then nighttime. Daytime, nighttime. Daytime, nighttime. Daytime, nighttime. Patterns of sleeping and waking. Different animals are awake at different times. Some animals are usually awake in the daytime. In the nighttime, they are usually asleep. That is their pattern of sleeping and waking. Humans and many other animals are awake during the daytime. They sleep in the nighttime. Other animals have a different pattern of sleeping and waking. These animals are usually awake in the nighttime and asleep in the daytime. Animals with this pattern are called nocturnal. These nocturnal animals are awake during the nighttime and they rest during the daytime. So an owl, a mouse, a lightning bug, and a raccoon. Patterns of seasons. The seasons are winter, spring, summer, and fall. Some places have different kinds of weather in different seasons. Massachusetts in January, Massachusetts in April, Massachusetts in July, and Massachusetts in October. New Zealand in January, New Zealand in April, New Zealand in July, New Zealand in October. You can see that in July in Massachusetts, it's sunny, there's flowers blooming. But in New Zealand in July, it looks very snowy. So the seasons are different. Patterns of sunlight on Earth. Each row of pictures shows a day in a different season. So this is winter, spring, summer, and fall. And you notice at midnight, everything's dark. And at 3 a.m., everything is dark. But at 6 a.m. in winter, it's still dark. But at 6 a.m. in spring, it's a little bit lighter. And at 6 a.m. in summer, it's a lot lighter. And then at 6 a.m. in fall, it looks a lot like spring. It's a little bit darker, but not totally dark. 9 a.m. in winter looks how 6 a.m. looked in spring. A little bit darker. Then 9 a.m. in summer and spring, it's bright. But in fall, 9 a.m. looks brighter than in winter, but darker than in spring. And you can see the patterns throughout the day for each season. Patterns of where we see the sun. These pictures show where we see the sun at 5 o'clock p.m. At the same time of day, we see the sun in different places in the sky during different seasons. So in January at 5 p.m., it's pretty low. But at 5 p.m. in July, it's a lot higher. At 5 p.m. in April, not as low as in January, but definitely lower than it was in July. In October, just barely higher than January. Very similar. Patterns of animal activity. Animals may be active during different seasons. Some animals are active in spring, summer, and fall, but sleep most of the winter. These animals rest during the winter. It's hibernating. Other animals are active during the winter and all other seasons too. Humans and many other animals are active during the winter. Patterns of moon phases. The moon is always round like a ball, but on different days, it seems to have different shapes. These shapes are called phases. So this is a crescent moon, a first quarter moon, a gibbous moon, and a full moon. A gibbous moon, a last quarter moon, and a crescent moon. Then a new moon. The new moon is up when the sun is up, but we can't see it. Patterns of where we see the moon. These pictures show the sky at different times on the same day. In the first two pictures, it is daytime. In the next two pictures, it is nighttime. Even on the same day, we can see the moon in different places. Sometimes the moon is high in the sky, sometimes it is near the horizon. So here it's a lot lower than it is right here. This picture shows the pattern of where we saw the moon at different times of the day. So at 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., midnight. Groups of stars. The sky has so many stars, and they look a lot alike. To notice patterns, it helps to look for stars in groups that you can recognize. Here are a few. This group of stars is called Orion. You can recognize it by the 3 stars in a row. This group of stars is called Leo. Some people think part of it looks like a backwards question mark. Oh, I see it. This group of stars is called Scorpius. It has stars that make a hook shape. And this group of stars is called Pegasus. It has 4 stars in the middle that make a shape like a square. Patterns of where we see the stars. Stars don't always appear in the same places in the sky. They seem to move in a pattern over time. When people observe stars for a long time, they notice patterns. These pictures show some of the stars in the sky during one night in December, and each picture shows a different time on the same day. So this is 9 p.m. You can see. And then at midnight, it's down here a little bit. And at 3 a.m., maybe this is it way down here. Different star patterns at different times of year. The next page shows stars we see in the summer. We see different stars in the summer than we do in the spring, fall, or winter. To see the winter sky, turn back to page 29. At all times of year, the stars we see seem to move in a pattern over time. These pictures show some of the stars in the sky during one night in June. Each picture shows a different time of the day, night. So this is 9 p.m., and then midnight, and then 3 a.m. Patterns on other planets. When we observe other planets from Earth, we find more patterns. Here are pictures of the planets Jupiter and Mars. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. If you look closely, you might see the Great Red Spot. It is a storm on Jupiter. The Great Red Spot is bigger than the whole Earth. Mars. Mars is one of the closest planets to Earth. Scientists have sent rovers to explore the surface of Mars. So the pictures show the planets at different times. Do you notice patterns? So I can see the Great Red Spot there, but I don't see it here. And now it's moved, and now it's moved, and now it's way over here. So I can see that the planet is turning. And on Mars, I can see a lighter spot right here that appears to move, and then move again, and then be gone. So there is a pattern. This is the glossary. The glossary is an important feature of a nonfiction text because it tells you words that are in the book and it gives you their definition. It tells you what they mean. So if you don't understand what a word means when you're reading a nonfiction text, you can always turn to the glossary. And this is the index. The index tells you important vocabulary words that are in the book and then tells you what pages those words are mentioned on. So you can always, if you're looking for information about Jupiter, you can always turn to page 32 or 33. If you're looking for information about horizon, you can turn to page 23, 25, or 34. This book is called Patterns of Earth and Space from Amplify Science. I hope you loved it.